All right, hey everybody, Ryan Pruitt, Typical White Guy. We're back today. Um, Today is actually April 8th. I, uh, I've always been a big person about numbers. I always followed in sports, I always followed stats. Numbers just always made sense to me and they helped make sense of things. I got up today. One, I realized that the entire month is April 20th. I mean, if there was ever a month to be 420, it would have to be this one. And the fact that it's 420 the entire month of all months, that just reminds me that God is real and He is funny. I also woke up today. I happened to, I mean, with everything going on right now, I'm one of the few people gainfully employed, plenty of hours. I was off today. It's the middle of the week. Not that that matters. But I woke up and I could feel myself more energetic, just in general grateful for today. And then I realized that it was 4/8/20. Exactly 4 years ago, um, and again, because numbers mean something to me, 4/8/16 was maybe one of the worst days and best days of my life. I That was a Friday, and I was still in Florida. I was still working at a restaurant hosting. I was still living on the island, living a life that if I was 22 would have been great, but being 42 was not great. And I was off the next day. It's always a bad combination. So I worked that Friday. Fridays were always bad for me. There was just something when it comes to going out and drinking. Fridays were always a big weakness for me because it was like Friday after 5, that was when normal people went out to drink. That was when normal people hung out. And so I think for a long time I thought that if I went out then, um, I could feel more normal and I was out among other people. And also maybe it would make my behavior that often did on many a night seem more normal. Short way of saying it is Fridays is when I would get my most drunk. And so what I had done over the years is instead of fixing my drinking, I fixed my life around drinking. I was living on an island in Florida where they had a free, I mean, I could walk from work or the bar home. There was a free shuttle bus that went around the island. I had every excuse built in to excuse myself. That Friday night, I went off. Um, I drank a lot. Didn't care. I had the next day off. I woke up Saturday, probably 10:30, 11:30, noon, late for me. And when I woke up on Saturday the 9th, the window was open, cat was somewhere. I had no keys, no wallet, no phone. They were gone. And it wasn't until about noon that I could even get up and walk back to the bar to find out what happened. None of my stuff was at the bar. Girl from the bar, or girl that I worked with, uh, ran into her. I think she was either there or I went by the right. I know I didn't go into Sam. I didn't go to the Sandbar. I didn't go. I did not want people to see me like that. I must have seen her there. And she told me that the night before they knew me by then, and they had taken all my stuff, my phone, my keys, my wallet, and put it in a plastic bag, tied it to a belt loop on me, and put me on the shuttle bus. And that was okay. I mean, red flag number one: waking up with nothing, and a house wide open and a cat loose. That was warning number one. Warning number two: the fact that she had to tie that stuff to me like I was some kind of boat, some inanimate object. Because as a person, I was that far gone. I was useless. That was a blow. And as she was talking to me, by now it's like, it's 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock, Saturday afternoon. I'm starting to kind of unhaze, and I can remember being on the bus, but like being unable to tell him my address or where I lived on the island, and he ended up dropping me off, like at the right address, but on the opposite, like on the on the east side of the island instead of the west side of the island. And so I I, I started to kind of put some of the pieces back together from the night before and realized that, yeah, he had dropped me off over here, and I had to walk across the island over to my place. And so 4:30, 5:30, now I'm back on that part of the island. I'm looking up and down the streets. I can't remember exactly where I got dropped off. I can't remember exactly, who it was that dropped me off. I didn't have a phone to call anybody. Um, I walk up and down the streets, and I can't find nothing. Now it's 5:30, 6:30, 7:30. It's getting dark now. Our island is small. There's not big motels. There's not a lot of big street lights. It gets dark. So there was no use in looking for my wallet and stuff anymore. And so I went back to my open house. I climbed back in the window because I wanted to lock the door, but I also didn't want the cat to get back out. And I was in my house that night just realizing I was done. Um, I think I just texted my mom, let her know that I was having some problems. I didn't get into details, but I was fully ready at that point. She lived about an hour and a half away from me, and at 42, I was completely willing to give my life over. Um, I was gonna go to her and just be like, I'm failing. I can't do this. I have no key. I don't even know how I was going to get another copy of that key. I mean, I bought the car. I mean, I didn't know at the time. There was just so much. So I didn't have a credit card. Didn't have my keys. Didn't have the fob to my car. I don't think I could unlock my car because I didn't have the fob. Um, didn't have an extra set. Never planned for that. I failed, and I was completely willing to just move in with my mom, start over, admit, and that's the thing. I think I was fully ready to admit I was just a complete failure. I had no clue. Not only had I dug a hole too deep for myself, but I didn't even have the tools to get out. I I, I was I've never been. That's tough to say because I've been pretty low on myself before, but I've never been that low on myself. So I have to work Sunday morning. I mean, I'm still on the schedule. Work has no idea of any of this happening. I don't have, I didn't have friends I see on a daily basis because I wasn't that type of person to talk to people on a daily basis because I kept everyone away. Um, but I was fully ready to pack up and quit and just go to my mom's house as a 42-year-old and live in with her and let her go to a treatment center, do whatever, listen to whatever advice I was given because I was out of ideas. And I got up that morning, got dressed for work, in a job that I should have had 20 years ago, not now. And I said, you know what? Let me go walk down that street one more time. Just let me do one more. It was Sunday. And even though I didn't grow up in church, my family did. And my heart did. And I believed. I always believed. It was Palm Sunday. I said, let me walk down the street one more time. And I walked back down towards where that bus had dropped me off. And I know I walked every street, every block. But that Sunday morning, when I walked down the street, sitting there, not on the grass, but not in the street, in the little gutter area, perfectly sitting, was a little plastic bag. And I opened it up, and 40 hours later, it was all there. My keys, my wallet, my phone. I mean, what more, what more evidence do you need that God only gives you what you can handle? And now I didn't learn every lesson that day, but that was definitely the beginning of the end of that phase of my life. I soon after quit the restaurant. I soon after ended certain friendships that really weren't friendships. I ended a way of life. I quit drinking altogether, a little over a year after that. But that was the day. Up until that time, I had always described alcohol as as an old crappy friend, that they're crappy to you, but you've been through things with them, and you keep trying to keep the friendship alive. That was the first time that I truly saw alcohol as my enemy. Other people can handle it. Inevitably, I can't. And I never wanted that to happen again. That not happening became more important than whatever buzz I got off drinking. And here we are exactly 4 years later. And there's so much I'm thankful for. I'm in a completely different, better environment now. And it started. Every day is an opportunity. Every day is. Whether you find it or not, there are chances in every single day. And so 4 years ago, what could have been horrible became a great opportunity that I recognized and took advantage of. And so now 4 years later, what am I going to do today? What opportunities are there today that I'm not going to miss out on? I'm happy for this day. 4/8/20. 4/20. 4/8/16. God is funny, and He is real. See y'all down the road.